Most people only know one way to add a Trello list, but today I'm going to show you 3 smarter ways to create, move, and copy a list like a pro. Hey, I'm Lucy Reyes, and I help solopreneurs like you simplify your systems so that way your business feels lighter and more organized. In this video, I'm going to guide you through how to create new lists, move them around, and even copy them for recurring workflows. Plus, there's a little double click trick that most Trello users don't even know about. And if you want to save even more time, I've put together a free guide with my 9 favorite tricks and Trello hacks that are going to save you even more time. So you'll find the link to that down below in the description. All right, so let's start with the basics. This is how you create a new list. This is the one way that most people know about. So you drag all the way to the end, you tap right here where it says add another list. You're going to click on there and then you add the list title. That is how you create a new list. And this method works just fine if the list does go at the end of the Trello board. But if you're wanting the list to go somewhere else, it really is a hassle to have to try to move it all the way over where you want it to go. So the double click trick that a lot of people don't know about is just find this little space in between the 2 lists. Make sure you're perfectly in the middle though, because if you kind of click elsewhere, you accidentally click the list somewhere else, it'll kind of glitch you over. So let me show you. So we're going to move here in the middle. You're going to double click and then we can name that list and there it is. Like we don't have to move it over. We don't have to drag it over. We don't have to do any of that. But if you accidentally click like the list, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it'll glitch over. It's not doing it this time, but there's times where it'll kind of go and be like, it'll glitch over. So sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but you do want to make sure that you're perfectly in the middle so that way this trick actually works. So that's how you create a list. Easy peasy. Now, what if you wanted to actually move this list over? Again, the method that most people use is you hold on to it and then you drag it over. But again, this can get glitchy, especially if you're trying to move it over. Like, look, what just happened? I don't even know. I thought I was holding on to it and it went right back. I grabbed the card instead. So personally, it's not my favorite method unless I'm literally just going to drag it like 2 or 3 lists over, because as you can see, if even my finger slips off the mouse just a tiny bit, it can accidentally pick something else up. So my favorite way to actually move list over is by using this little menu option at the top of the list. So you're going to click on that. You're going to go to move list. And the cool thing about this is that you don't even have to just move the list within the own Trello board itself. You can also move it to other Trello boards in other workspaces that you own. So for this example, we're going to keep it on the same board, but you could technically move it to another board as well. And then the position here is what number of lists, like where on the Trello board do you want it. Now for this one, sometimes I've already counted through. Sometimes I just do an estimate and then kind of do that little drag around. And if I moved it to a completely new Trello board and I forgot to be like, oh wait, where does it go on this Trello board? Then I'll just move it to space number 1. I'll go to that Trello board and then drag it over or click this again and move it to where exactly where it's gonna go. So for this example, I don't remember. So we're gonna go to number 1 and it moved all the way to the beginning. Now I can drag it over where I actually wanted it to go. And again, if it's within my screen view, then I'm completely fine dragging it around because at least I know where it started and where it could have gone, right? It usually doesn't go all the way to the other end of the scroll bar. So those are the 2 different ways that you can move a list. So now let's talk about how to copy a list over. And copying a list comes with some nuances. So I'm going to give you 2 examples here. Let's say I want to copy this list over. It's pretty simple. It has a card cover and then it has 2 task cards with nothing in them. So I'm going to come to this menu bar again. I'm going to copy a list. When you copy a list, it doesn't let you copy and transfer at the same time. All you can do, the only action you can take is to copy that list. So we're going to go ahead and mark this one as number 2. We're going to create the list And boom, there it is. Whenever the list itself is simple, then this is great. However, if you want to copy a list over like this one where it has multiple things, let's go ahead and add a label to it as well. It has a label, it has a due date, it has a checklist with items checked off, and it has a comment. So let's say I wanted to copy this list over. Again, copy list. We're going to add 3 to this one. Create the list, and it literally copies everything over. It's an exact replica of the original list. And in some cases, this is not what we wanted, right? Like the most ideal solution would be for it to copy everything over, but already knowing that like, hello, like I don't want the same labels or the same due date or whatever, right? But it doesn't know that. So it literally copies everything exactly how it is. So it has the label, it has the due date, it has me assigned as a member for the card. The only thing that it did change was it removed the checked items, which maybe you wanted. I don't know, but it doesn't give you that option. So it unchecks the checklist items, and it adds a bunch of clutter to this comments and activities section. So it not only copies over the original comment without giving you the ability to delete it from the duplicated card, but it also adds in this extra note that says this card was copied from this list. And for me, this is just a bunch of clutter, okay? A bunch of clutter. So what you would want to do is make a clean version of the list. So instead of copying over everything how it is, you would want to turn it into something like this, where it's more simplified. It's ready to go without the labels, without the due dates. Maybe you have the checklist just like this, where the items are there, and then you label it something like template. So you know that this is your own template or your template list that you can then copy over as the clean version anytime you need that same list. So that's something that I do all of the time for list-based workflows or list-based task list that I want to reuse every week or for a particular project. And then I just have one clean version for myself. I make a note letting me know that that's the template version, and then I duplicate that one over. That way I don't have to go back and manually remove everything, which is such a waste of time. So let's say I did copy this list over, and now I'm going back and manually removing all of this. You know, maybe I did want those checklist items checked off, and then this is just a bunch of clutter. Like that takes up so much time, especially and if you had multiple cards on that list. This is all time that you could have been using to work on whatever the task or project at hand is. So that's just the nuance of copying a list over. So now you have learned how to create, move, and copy list. And here is why that matters. Lists are the backbone of Trello. Like, this is what makes Trello. These Kanban list style boards is what makes Trello so unique. And so it is so important to know how to manage these lists so that way you have less visual clutter. Because when you have less visual clutter, you're able to focus more, you're able to feel less overwhelmed, and you are able to save time. So that is so important. And the same is true with those template lists. So if you create a template list like this and it's clean, then you're not wasting time doing the things that I showed you, like manually removing the labels, manually removing the due dates, manually removing the members. Even though those just took a few seconds, if you had multiple cards where you have to do the same thing, that's seconds that adds up to minutes. And those minutes add up to hours over time, because you have to factor in the fact that now you're not focused. And to get refocused usually takes a lot more time than you think. So when you set up your workflow template list, whenever you know how to manage your list well, then it just saves you so much time overall. And I'm so happy that you took the time to watch this video to get a little bit of those extra tips that you may not have known about. But I am curious, so let me know in the comments below. Did you know about that double click trick and about creating a template list for yourself? Let me know in the comments. And before you go, make sure that you grab my free guide, which has 9 extra special Trello hacks that you may not have known about, just like the ones I shared in this video, but you get them all right away to save you so much more time. The link is in the description, and be sure to subscribe so that way you know once I release the next video with even more Trello hacks. All right, I'll see you soon.